Now they're in. There's Pearl. Just laying in the snow. We got outdoor dogs, that's for sure. Good morning, it's Barbara. It's snowing, as you might have figured out from the views of the dogs and the view from the window. It's 11:30 in the morning now. It's supposed to keep snowing like this until about 7 tonight. So then we will see how we're doing. But my guess is we've gotten 3.5 inches so far. We're in the 3 to 6 inch zone, I think. So we might get all the way to 6 inches. Good morning. It's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. We are cozy and warm. But for her coffee, she's like, oh, we're so cozy. We have enough food, right? I'm like, we have enough food. Don't you worry. Like, oh, good. Because we do like sitting and watching the snow fall. This is very gentle. It's very small flakes. And no wind. It's coming straight down. So it's highly unlikely that this will cause a power outage. It's not wet enough to like really weigh down the branches. Unless somebody has a car accident into a telephone pole, which would be too bad. So there you go. Life at our house. We will not be going for a walk today, but we will undoubtedly bundle up and tramp in our yard. And the girls will have fun. As you can see, they do like to be outside. In fact, they're both out there now. It's fun to watch them. Meanwhile, yeah, so it's going to be a quiet day. I'm expecting to read. I'm expecting maybe eating it. Probably not. I'm not promising anything. Listen to music, talk, you know, that kind of thing. We're going to have leftovers. Dennis made meatloaf yesterday. Kim came yesterday because it was way better weather driving and parking and such, and it worked out great. We had a very nice visit with her, and Dennis made us meatloaf, which we have for leftovers for dinner tonight. So there you go. So he doesn't even have to cook. I mean, he kind of indicated last night, like, we have all these leftovers, so I don't have to cook. I'm like, you don't have to cook. I agree. You do not have to cook. So he might end up cooking anyway, because, you know, it is one of his hobbies. But he doesn't have to, and that's the point. So we had a very nice visit with Kim yesterday. It was a nice day. And then I started a new book, but I didn't finish it. And, you know, I went to bed early. I was tired. I had not slept great the night before. And so I was tired, surprisingly. Well, and I went to bed early, like 11:15. Yeah, right. So anyway. Which means I didn't do today's Wordle yet. Normally I do my Wordle at like 1:15 midnight. You know, I'm one of those people, if they do any kind of statistics on at the time, you know, local time when people get on. I mean, I often get on Wordle at exactly midnight or 12:02, you know. So, yeah. Well, because I want to get, you know, I have not done Wordle on, I've missed days because I didn't do it at night and I forgot. That's my routine. So, and if you miss a day, your streak is over. It's not just over when you don't get it right. Apparently not doing it is equivalent to not getting it right. So anyway, I have my Wordle to do today. That'll take 5 minutes. And then just hang out and stay cozy. I have been, we've got white socks on that black dog. Maisie. Maisie, come here. She just went to look out the front window. Maisie, come here. Touch. Touch. I want to show them your feet. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl, Pearl. There's Maisie. Go up. She just flipped the screen. Yep, you're a good girl. Yes, you are. You're both good girls, but you're not getting a treat. You already just got one, and I shouldn't say that word. Anyway. I just put Maisie's white stockings on my video.
Did you talk about Pearl and the worms, and did you talk about the birds and crops?
No. Now you just ruined my... Well, I'm not paused. So, 2 days ago, I forgot to tell you guys, 2 days ago, Dennis was in the kitchen, you know, doing his thing like he always does, and he heard a commotion by the back door, which he thought at that time was maybe Pearl trying to get a big stick in the house, which she does. I could show you our carpet. So he goes over to investigate, and lo and behold, that stupid bird, it's probably the same bird, it has come in again through the dog door while the dogs are right there. So the dogs were all agitated because the bird came in our mudroom. And Dennis opened the back door and it flew away. He thought maybe they might have injured it because of the way it flew away. He thought, you know, didn't bode well for the bird. But it came in again. Well, I assume it's the same stupid bird. But now we know it comes in the dog door. I know. Crazy, right? Oh, and they already know about Pearl eating the worms because she did it live on my vlog yesterday.
Oh.
So that would just be repeating the worm story.
Well, the worms are buried now that are...
Yeah, the ones I scattered now are buried. And there's a little, there's a little, you know, snow hat on the bird feeder. So when we go out later to play with the dogs, we'll knock the snow off the bird feeder. In case anybody, you know... We'll see. So Dennis is in the kitchen. You can hear Pearl trying to entice him to play. She does that every morning. Every single morning. So, yeah. So those are all my news. And no, Maisie tries to dig in the bed or dig in the carpeting. It's like she really wants to make this a really comfy bed, but it's dangerous to the furniture, to the rug, and to her bed. So she gets yelled at, which is too bad. Oh, and Pearl has eagle ears. Do eagles have good ears? She was sitting out on the deck. I showed everybody her sitting out on the deck. And I come in and I think, oh, Pearl's on the deck. Let me quick give Maze her medication because it's like a treat. And then, you know, I don't have to worry about it. And as I'm handing it to Maisie and turning around, there's Pearl walking in the door. It's like she could hear me open up that little tiny jar. So then they both got a treat, which is why I should stop saying that word. Why they didn't get one for coming over when I showed you the snow feet. Anyway, I am all bundled up today. You can see this is my first wool sweater I ever made. I bought the pattern and the yarn when I was in North Carolina 9 years ago, maybe. It's my first. I have a turtleneck shell that I made out of cotton. You know, the sugar and spice or whatever it is, cream, sugar and creams, cotton, which I like. But this is my first wool sweater, and I got the pattern at the yarn shop, and it was called something like Very Simple V-Neck Sweater or something like that. And I only have it in hard copy, and I have no idea where it is. But when you know, as I was reading the directions, you know, I'm reading the directions, and I'm like, this is really weird, and reading the directions, and then finally, in the direction, she says, I know this sounds strange, but just do exactly what I say, and I promise you it will work. And it did. But I thought that was pretty funny. So it was obviously like a beginner's, you know, raglan sleeve sweater. And she knew it didn't sound, you know, it sounded a little weird to those brand new garment knitters. And it was pretty funny to me. But anyway, it's a nice warm sweater. It's a tunic length. I got carried away. It's really long. And this is the sweater where I thought, oh, I can finally make the sleeves the right length, because all my sweaters that I buy, you know, I have to roll up the sleeves because I have short arms. So, of course, you know, I made the sleeves too short. And it was just a couple years ago, I found I had a little bit extra yarn, I found it, and I lengthened my sleeves, so it's a little more comfortable for me. Okay. So anyway, I'm wearing this nice thick warm, this is Plymouth wool, did I say that? I don't remember, Select, I don't know, something like that. Anyway. So it's nice and warm, but it has a V mix. So this morning I'm getting up thinking, you know, I want to be warm. The last 2 nights I have been just really, really cold in my chair. Now, we do keep our house at 66 when we're, you know, running the heater. We keep it at 66 Fahrenheit. And, which is not warm. But I wear my handmade sweaters and my handmade socks every day in the wintertime. And, you know, so I'm well dressed, but apparently not well enough. Well, my pants are warm, but they're not super, super warm, and they have wide legs at the bottom, and my socks are crew length. So Dennis says, well, you could do something about that, you know, make yourself some knee socks. I'm like, yeah. But anyway, so I have been sitting in my chair cold the last 2 nights. In fact, I went up early in part so I could get in bed and be warm. So even though last night I almost took a picture of myself for Instagram with me cuddled up in my granny stripe throw blankets. Because, you know, so I was working on it. But, anyway, I was complaining to Dennis that I was cold. He says, wow, your warm winter pants aren't that thick. Which means they're not really that warm. I'm like, you know, well, they're better than what I wore yesterday. And, because the day before yesterday, I did laundry yesterday because when I went to get dressed, well, I did laundry the day before yesterday because when I went to get dressed, I only had pants that are not very warm to wear. So I wore long underwear under them. You know, I knew I was going to be cold if I didn't do something. And then I washed all my warm pants. But he pointed out they're really not that warm. And he said, I have some sweatpants that are nice and thick and really warm. And that's why I bought them, to be really warm. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll wear those. So I am. I'm wearing Dennis's thick sweatpants, my ski socks, which are knee socks, and wool, and warm, but I didn't make them. And my tunic sweater and a turtleneck underneath so that I'm warm. So I'm warm today. This is my plan, to be warm today. The only thing I made that I'm wearing is my sweater. And if I'm not warm, a shawl will be all I need. In fact, I'm thinking about putting on a hat. Because I've been cold the last 2 nights. And it's so strange because my house has been the same temperature for 6 weeks now. You know, I mean, it hasn't been above 66 in over 6 weeks. So my heater's running, my house is 66, but somehow, and it shows on the thermometer that it's 66. But somehow it feels colder to me the last few days, and I'm not sure why. So I'm warm today. So you don't have to worry about me. I'm warm and snug and cozy in my house while it's snowing, and I'm going just to relax and enjoy it and have soup for dinner, and meatloaf, and it'll be wonderful. So that's my day. I'm going to read. I'm going to, who knows what else. But I know I'm going to read. Maybe I'll knit. I do want to finish my hat. I swear I do. But I think I might put a hat on. And then I will just be toasty. So you can think of me here snowbound and toasty. Because I don't think we're going to do anything about our driveway today, is my guess. Because by the time the snow stops, it's going to be dark. And maybe our neighbor will snow blow us, and that will be lovely, and then we can just do the finishing touches. But I did find snow melt at the store yesterday. Yay! I didn't have to go all over the county, which I was ready to do because we absolutely have to have that. But I didn't have to. They had it in the supermarket. They had like canisters like this big, you know. I bought 5. We have a long driveway. And they had lots. I'm not hoarding. So, yeah, so we're all set. All right, well, I'm going to watch my dogs play in the snow, watch the snow fall, sit here and feel cozy, finish my coffee. Oh, but I want to remind you, tomorrow is Zoom day. So our Zoom call is tomorrow at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will put a link to the Ravelry group thread down in the down bar today. So you can link there. The first post, Valerie has the link to the Zoom and all the information you need. And yeah, please join us. Please join us. Because it's always fun. It's always fun. Ooh, what am I going to do? I might just work on my blanket because I can do that and talk. And I really want to finish, not finish my blanket. I'm making a king-size giant granny square. So I'm nowhere near finishing my blanket, but I'm only this far from finishing my last start of the blanket so that I can soon start on new yarn. And maybe that's what I'm going to be doing with the leftovers from my 2 advents. I'm not putting Megan's yarn in my blanket. As much as I'm going to love my blanket, I want to put Megan's yarn in something that, you know. Anyway, I am looking forward to finishing because, you know, I started that blanket 2 times and I made it too big 2 times. And that's why, on Leslie's advice, I decided to make a granny square because it's a king-size bed, which is square. So that's perfect. So I don't have to count. I don't, you know, I just keep crocheting. So I've been crocheting my new version off of the last 2 versions that I did, and I'm getting tired of it. I want new yarn. So that's what I'll do tomorrow. I'll work on my blanket. Oh, and that's what I should have been doing the last 2 nights because then I would have been warm. That's the nice thing about working on a blanket in the wintertime. Meanwhile, tomorrow is our Zoom call. So please, please, I hope you can come. I hope you can come and participate. We always have a great time, and I'm looking forward to it. So, meanwhile, I'm going to go. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe and stay sane.